Thank you so much for watching A Touch of Tarot. Last night I was guided to pull these cards, and after pulling them, I had no energy to read them. So I left them out, and I do have to read them because I have the message to, first of all, and second of all, I have readings to do today, and I can't leave these here, obviously. So this is definitely what's going on with the twin soul connection, soul flame connection, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to try to remember the message as best as I did when I was getting it at the time, okay? We start in the center here. So I was asking, what is the divine masculine thinking and wanting to say? And this is exactly what he wants to say. The divine masculine knows that you want his return. He knows that you are waiting for him. He knows that his woman is waiting for him. And what came after the Eight of Cups was the Princess of Wands. He knows that you wish he was as courageous as you, because you wouldn't leave him waiting and wondering. And he knows that. And he thinks about it and he says, I'm sorry I wasn't as courageous as yourself. I'm sorry I was weak and I didn't have the ability to face my fears, that I ran, that I buried my head in other work and other situations, and that I turned my back on the situation amongst us. But the whole time, even though it may seem like he went and buried his head in the sand or just ran off on a new path, to be honest, he always had the divine feminine in his mind because he's still facing her. He knows that what he did was so hurtful. And once again, we have this Three of Coins, and what it says is a third party, and it doesn't necessarily mean a person. He knows he left you on your own for him to focus on other things. While you were crying, while you were heartbroken, while you were wondering, he was there in spirit. He knew the whole time what he was doing, and he is so sorry. He feels like it was the only decision he could make at the time, and he wanted to help you, and unfortunately he just couldn't face you. He was watching you, but he couldn't face you. During this time, he had an awakening. During this time of separation, and he dreamt of the two of you together. He dreamt of coming in and saying sorry, giving you an apology, of holding you, of hugging you, of touching you, of just, he had an awakening. He had a huge awakening at this time. For many of the divine feminines, while this was going on, eventually you moved forward. You took care of yourself. You gained prosperity in many different ways, and the number one way you gain prosperity is you found self-love. And this was the goal, whether you know it or not. You never stopped forgetting about the masculine, and you always forgave him for all the unjust decisions he made. I'm going to read these cards exactly how they came out in the order I pulled them, just to clarify that. In the future, and what this masculine's now moving towards, is the Ace of Swords. It's a very strong communication, and I'm going to tell you exactly what he wants to communicate with you. But he realizes that this love is like no other, first of all. This is not what he has to say, but with the Ace of Communication, there's nothing like this. This love is so strong, it can penetrate through anything. This is a magical arrow. This is like an arrow that can soar around the world, breaking through mountains if need be, going through storms if need be, because it has a destination. And this is in the future position. Now, what does this masculine want to discuss with the feminine? Four of Wands. You are his dream come true. You are his wish fulfilled. And that is clarified with the lullaby card, which I will get into after. But literally, you are what he's been dreaming of. Not just at nighttime, day and night. But he actually has dreams of you. And for some of you, your masculine has a beard, or he's grown a beard. Maybe he's changed his look. But I see this strong presence of a beard here, and he has confidence. He really does. He's ready to conquer. He's ready to take on this challenge. He wants to tell you that he knows you are the Empress. You are his queen of love. You are the one that holds his heart. You are the one that fulfills him and that fills him up. Just as you sat there at night thinking of him, he sat there at night thinking of you. Just as you dreamt of new beginnings that are going to be happening, he too dreamt of ending the old and beginning new with you. He was wishing every single night, when will this happen? When are my dreams going to come true? I know exactly what I want. I want her. When? Partially what he also wants to share with you is about the sacrifices he's made during this time, about the people around him, about what he's had to let go of in order to open this new door. He has been working away, and we see that with the Eight of Pentacles, on building a new foundation, on being able to go through a new door with his love. He was not just working on himself. He was not running away to party and celebrate. He was literally putting in the hard work and making a new plan so he can open a door to a new way. He's gone through a transformation, and he wants to share that with you. He went through a dark night of the soul. He isolated himself from many people because he had to find out what was true and what was false. He had to see who was going to stick with him through all of his turmoils during the dark night of the soul. And he knows now. He always knew. You are his guide. You are what he was always led back to with this new beginning, the innocence. The divine feminine does have an innocence about her, no matter how strong you are. You're so lovely and you're so caring, and you're still there for him, and you are always guiding him. Whether you actually spoke to him, because many of you didn't. Whether you actually were seeing him, and no, many of you did not. But he always was aware that you were waiting for him. You were waiting for him to shoot that arrow, to make that move, to come and to return and communicate and to have this new beginning, which was clarified with the World card. So I started pulling other cards to clarify, and I'm going to get into them. We have a card here that foretells a new love is very near. And it also mentions false friends. And one thing the divine masculine learned during his journey on his own and during his separation from the divine feminine is that some of his people around him are false. especially when it came to them seeing that he was working on something new. It's like they picked up that he had someone in mind, which is you. He had a new plan in mind, and their falseness showed. When they learned that he had a connection or he had wants to be with someone else, their falseness showed. But there is this love, and when it says new love, he gained new love for you every day of the week. He was gaining more and more love for you. And anyone who knew that or saw that was not helpful at this point. They weren't. He had to go through this on his own. He had to learn this on his own. He had to realize this connection is such a strong bond. It is unbreakable. And whatever anyone else says, it doesn't matter. You are his queen. And he is very aware that you had to watch him walk away. And for some, yeah, it was to go with another woman. We have a woman taking this cage here. You know, there was a woman for some of you that he was locked down with, in a sense. We can put it like that. He's in a cage, right? He can't escape, and he couldn't escape at the moment. And you had to watch him walk away. And you couldn't do anything about it. But he knew who his queen was. He really did know that you hold the flame, the queen of fire here, the queen of wands. You held the flame. And he always had in mind, how am I going to return? How am I going to escape the cage I'm in and come back home? This is part of what his sacrifice was, leaving another commitment, leaving another situation that he began. And he had to step up. For many of us, for many of you, for many of everyone here, he's showing up as the king of earth, king of forces. And he is going to be coming in with a tangible offer, the most beautiful offer that you've ever seen, because it's going to match your energy. You're here with this Nine of Pentacles energy, which is the energy right before becoming the queen, right before becoming the empress, because you've learned how to self-love. For many, there will be a wedding or some sort of a very strong commitment come spring, autumn time this year, 2019. Now, we have the angel, Archangel Gabriel. And his message is here that this is happening this year. Get ready to spread your wings and fly. You've done well, you've stepped up. You've now learned how to become a leader of your destiny by following your path, divine feminines. And he knows this, he watched this, he saw this. And the whole time, all he's wanted to do is work towards getting to you. It was like he became a hunter. And how am I going to get her before someone else does, type of an energy. We also pulled this card to clarify the Ace of Swords. The Shepherd indicates an intense love of life and strong fellow feelings. This is your fellow. This is your best friend. You love him just as much as you love your life, and same with him to you. And this is all part of stepping up from that Nine of Pentacles to the Queen, from that hard-working Eight of Coins to the King. Loving one another as much as you love yourselves. When he comes back, what he will be talking about is the past and asking for forgiveness from the past, about actions taken in the past. He is going to open up to you about everything. He knows he left you for another situation. It's not just a woman. He just put everything ahead of you at that time. The divine masculine is ready to step up, and we know this card, right? This beautiful pink bird here is the flamboyant, wonderful, courageous divine feminine. And that's the divine masculine there, and he's ready to do whatever he can to protect you and to honor you. And he doesn't care if you are like this huge energy compared to him. He says, I can still do this. This is my divine feminine. I will protect her because I don't want anyone else on her. I don't want anyone else there. I want to be the one to protect her. This is my Empress. This is the Emperor card. And in here we have the Emperor with the Empress. This is my Empress. She is my love of my life. She is pure, pure of heart. I've never met someone else besides my mother who has as big of a heart as this woman. And for many of you, the divine masculine does feel that way. The Empress, you, the Queen, has made him realize he's never really had a love like this. A love he can hold, a love he can smell, a love he can touch, a love that is pure honesty and that has nothing to hide. The return is happening this year. The quest, as we can say, is coming to a completion. Both parties have realized a new love for self, and in return, it's fed the other. All this time when the masculine was doing his own thing and maybe even sleeping in a state of sleep, he was dreaming of the feminine. He was wishing he could be as courageous as her. He really was. I'm going to pull a couple more cards. Actually, I forgot what was here at the bottom. Let's look at this. Grace, we have the Star card here. You are his wish fulfilled. You hold his heart. And here we have the King of Cups. He was thinking of you just as much as you were thinking of him. And in fact, some of the times, oh, look what fell out, how beautiful. Some of the times, him thinking of you wore him down so much. And one of his fears was, oh my gosh, I've taken so long. Will she even accept me when I come back? I'm a different looking person. I'm a different person now. He feels a bit worn out. I noticed the word Mark here, Arthur, Orpheus, Cupid. Sorry, I need to see this card. Spring, autumn. It will be in spring, autumn when there will be huge growth. Right now, the seeds are planted and they're about to spring up. They really are. The water is there, the rain is coming. To feed them because this new door is opening. There will be no more sadness when this return happens. There will be no more sadness, and that card wanted to show itself. Look, there will be no more heartache because this love that comes in is so undeniable. This love is so strong. All the sadness and tears will be forgotten. This reunion is not just of the divine masculine and feminine, it's of the Holy Spirit as well. It's of a new connection altogether that you've never even imagined. It's abundant and there's growth and it's real. I thank you very much for watching this reading, this twin soul reading. You have the whole world in your hand is what's playing in the song in my head right now. Keep that in mind. Thank you very much, everyone, okay? You are wise, and you have the forces of the universe working for you. Focus on what you know is coming, because there is an awakening coming. You once thought it won't happen, but it will. Thank you.